This is the team of Island Air. Every day, they risk everything. The Kodiak Peaks and wicked seas make the island the world's most treacherous place to fly. These are the tales of Alaska's ultimate bush pilots. Kodiak Island, one of the most volatile areas of Alaska. Kodiak's extreme weather, rugged landscape, and rough seas make this place the deadliest piece of the planet to access by bush plane. For over 30 years,
we've got an annual coming up in about 2 months.
Bob Stanford and Island Air have kept Kodiak running.
And all summer long, this plane's been working hard.
3-1, go ahead.
From flights to remote villages, to transporting hunters and anglers on adventures of a lifetime.
All right, guys, we're ready. Let's load up.
Do it. Let's go hunting. Here at Island Air, the fleet consists of a Piper Cherokee 6. We've got a de Havilland Beaver on floats and a Britain Norman Islander. They're all very tough airplanes. They're your pickup trucks of the north.
Yeah, we're just dropping off mail. I think we got a little bit of freight for them.
It takes more than just machines to make this business work.
So the wind is going down, which is good.
Emily Pack is the dispatcher at Island Air.
We're not moving.
She keeps everything on the ground running smoothly.
I love Island Air. We're all a big family and we watch out for each other.
In the air, Bob has veteran pilot Eric Howard.
I wanted to fly here in Kodiak for the challenge. Lots of adventure around here.
Float plane pilot in training Peter Rosendahl.
I'm the pilot, I'm the cargo guy. Got to be a jack of all airplane trades to do the kind of flying up here.
We're a lifeline to everybody out here. That's the story.
Here you go, Shannon. Here's the last of it.
I like flying. I always have. That's where I go to my happy place.
Beaver's a 54, Pilot's a 56. They're both good years. You know, so.
1,000 scattered, ceiling 1,800 broken, 3,000 overcast, temperature 7, dew point.
Meteorologist Craig Eckert forecasts the weather on Kodiak.
So this evening's storm should be pretty interesting. Here's the main front from this giant low out in the Bering Sea. Precipitation is all on right over Kodiak. This looks like 35, maybe 40 knots.
3 days ago, Bob dropped off a couple hunters in Hidden Basin. The storm has turned their trip of a lifetime into a nightmare.
We're in a bad spot. We need help.
The wind speeds have reached 50 miles per hour and have destroyed their tent. Without shelter, hypothermia could set in within a matter of hours.
We need something. We need help.
The hunters are requesting an emergency rescue flight. But the weather has grounded Island Air's planes.
40 miles per hour is a no-go for our airplanes.
From the forecast, we got 2 more days of bad winds coming and rain. We know we're not flying. We're used to fast-moving weather, but it's not moving. It's just sitting here churning away on us.
The hunters need help.
We're soaking wet, we're cold.
But it's not coming anytime soon. A massive storm has brought Kodiak's air traffic to a standstill. Bearing the brunt of the weather, a group of hunters in Hidden Basin.
We need help, and we need it soon.
They've called Island Air for an emergency rescue flight, but the planes are grounded because of a severe storm.
The weather's the biggest obstacle. These low pressure areas built out there in that environment, and they just come barreling down, you know, along the Alaskan Peninsula. And, you know, it's bad is when they stop and decide to park here for a little while.
This storm's not moving. So all the hunters can do is hunker down and wait. Overnight, the storm has slowed slightly, giving Bob a chance to rescue the desperate hunters.
Looked out there, the wind's dropped. I see sunshine out to the east. It's like, you know, go time. Good Tower, Beaver, 47 Alpha Kilos, Basin, outbound Middle Bay. Okay, copy the Beaver, we're clear. And I saw that winds down, a weather break. You don't know when they're gonna come, but when they do, you just kick it in gear. Off we go.
Temperatures dropped to 39 degrees last night, and the island was pelted with 3 inches of rain.
It's probably potentially a pretty miserable night.
Bob has no idea what shape the hunters are in.
We're breaking records with rain, wind, and we've got nothing but rain and fog ahead of us.
Well, just looking at the rivers right here, there's a lot of water here. I mean, these overflowing their banks. I'm expecting them to be right into this area.
But on this 3,500 square mile island, locating a few hunters is like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Oh, there they are. It's an interesting tent set up there with the tarp.
I'm guessing the wind came falling through here and just blew their whole camp flat. It's a good way to stay warm and dry right there.
Hey, how you guys doing? Got swamped. Well, that's where we were sleeping tonight.
The hunters have survived the frigid night by using their tarp as shelter.
Can't stay out there for long without a tent, so. We're surprised you came and we're happy to see you.
I asked him about blowing 40, 50, he goes, oh, above that. I'm trying to keep the tent up, standing there, it breaks flat. They don't have a single dry item in their camp.
The break in the storm is quickly coming to an end. Angry skies are lighting up the horizon, and the wind speeds are ramping up again, making takeoff a challenge.
There's a big swell there, 10-foot seas.
I thought it died down, but it must have been just for that moment.
Now the question becomes, can they make it back home? Unwavering commitment is a requirement in this dangerous business.
So we're definitely not going anywhere today.
I don't want to say definitely, but the weather's really not looking good.
Every day, the pilots are faced with life and death choices, dangers that Bob knows all too intimately.
Antone Larson. It happened June 30th of 1995. It's one of the few dates I can remember. We flew out to a village and picked up a group of people. They were all close friends. We all knew each other. There was a line of 9 of us, and I was in the lead. I flew around a place called Unazinki Narrows, which is all over water. had this gut feeling to hang around and wait for Chris. You know, everything in my life, my natural life, told me this is not what I should do. I flew down to the basin, landed in the channel. Chris got into the pass, but he tried to turn around at the very narrowest portion of the pass. About 10 minutes later, I heard all these sirens headed back up there, just going by me. And I knew right there. You see crosses on the side of the hill. I see the faces. It changed me as a pilot. It changed me as a person. You know, it affected me. It still does.
Gale force winds and heavy rains have hit Kodiak Island. A break in the system has allowed Island Air to rescue the hunters from Hidden Basin. But the calm window in the storm is closing fast. Bob has precious little time to make it back to base.
There is quite a swell. In these big seas easterly, it just shows right in the water, so in between those areas, you're gonna have shears.
Shears are quick changes in wind direction that can be deadly.
I'm just gonna stay down.
Mission accomplished.
We work the windows, that's what we gotta do.
We wanted to stay out 6 days. The campsite got flooded, and this morning about 4 in the morning, we got a gale force wind in, kind of broke the tent up. It was so great to hear Island Air today. The plane, boss!
Kodiak is one of the toughest places to fly in the world. Rapidly changing weather, rough seas, and high mountain peaks make this a location that only the best pilots can navigate.
I would say we average 75 hours of training. And it takes probably a month and a half, 2 months to get a pilot online.
Hey, Bob. Working for Bob's unique because he will take a brand new pilot to Alaska and train you up from day one Alaska flying.
Let's go on down and we'll see how you do.
I started flying in high school in Richardson, Texas. My dad was an airline pilot. His dad was also a pilot. I always wanted to be a pilot, so I packed a couple bags and moved to Kodiak.
So we might just do a couple of loops around.
I'm sure my grandpa's looking down on me, really stoked on what I'm doing, and my dad's always excited to hear my new stories.
Let me show you something on this line.
Island Air only accepts pilots who have finished traditional flight school. They need that experience under their belt before they can tackle a float plane.
All right.
When you get into the Beaver, there's no wheels on it, it's only floats.
The idea is not to fight Mother Nature. You want Mother Nature to do the work.
To do this job, you need to be pretty confident in what you do. You definitely learn from your mistakes.
So we're just gonna practice sailing into this ramp. He's tacking the plane, basically driving it right in front of the ramp, and then he's gonna shut it off if all goes right.
Ready?
You notice how it shifts? So the plane will consistently move this way, so he has to get over on the corner, and it'll slide back to it. But the only way to figure that out is miss the dock 20 times. You come this way. This is a fun stuff. If you don't like it, this ain't a good place to come fly. How much fuel's he got on board? Add a little power. Cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it, it's there.
Bob knows what he's doing, and he can be pretty intense. He'll let you know when you're doing something wrong, and he'll let you know when you're doing something right.
Now swing your tail that way. Cut it. Too late. Too late. So you had it perfect, but you had to kill the engine.
You can either fly or you can't when they come to me. I go out and figure that out really quickly. What I want to know is how to apply them for our environment.
All right, good job.
You can see yourself grow. I'm a completely different pilot than I was when I got up here.
We're just gonna call it good for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in about 7 minutes.
Flying is second nature to veteran pilot Bob Stanford.
So we got some gusts coming here.
He's had his wings for 30 years and has weathered everything Kodiak has thrown at him.
Been a little overrolled here.
But at any point, things can go south fast.
Yeah, we got a little problem with voltages going up too high. It should be around 27 volts. And we're up to 33. That's why my light's on.
Bob's alternator has suddenly stopped working. A huge problem. With the alternator offline, the sole source of electricity is the Beaver's battery.
There's always adventure.
His first step is to hit reset to get it back online quickly.
I'm not going to take a chance. I'm just going to shut off. I don't want to cook a battery here.
Bob must conserve what power is left in case the alternator doesn't reset.
So I got my alternator shut off, but if I shut my master off, my GPS goes down. You know, I've got my chart right here. You go right back to your old school, what you need to do.
A younger pilot might panic, but with thousands of hours in the pilot's seat, it's no big deal to Bob.
It's just a machine, so it adds a different quirk and you deal with it.
The good news is Bob's got Peter flying with him in a second plane. The bad news, the fog's rolled in, and Bob has lost sight of him.
Do you have me in sight?
Nope, I don't.
Okay, then I should just be a little bit ahead of you. I do not see you.
Been a little overrolled here.
While on a routine flight, Bob's alternator has mysteriously stopped working.
No, it's not coming back online.
Without an alternator, Bob must conserve what battery power he has left.
I'm just going to shut off. I don't want to cook a battery here.
Bob knows Peter is close by, but can't make visual contact. Even though they can't see each other, constant radio communication helps them avoid a mid-air collision.
Do you have me in sight? I do not see you.
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hold it, so I'm coming around. See what we get when we get up here, I guess. Let's go another 100 yards.
I think we're just gonna keep heading this way.
To make matters worse, the storm is beginning to hit again, and this time, with a vengeance.
Come up a little bit now. I'm not gonna get in a hurry. Never hurts to ask the good Lord to be on your side, too. Keep us safe.
40, 45 out of the east.
Oh, baby.
Finally, Bob sees a landmark he recognizes.
Just went by the point there.
Okay, then I should just be a little bit ahead of you.
Bob finally puts eyes on Peter.
Okay, I see you now. We're almost there.
You know, I've got several more trips down this direction. I personally don't think I'm coming back down. It's just too much. Kodak Tower, Beaver 47 Alpha Kilos off Calson Bay for the base on Point Papa. Good to have this one done.
Adam Lutz has been an airplane mechanic in Alaska for the past 10 years.
You earn your pay on a day like this.
One of his favorite planes to work on is the de Havilland Beaver.
These beavers are a part of history. They're monsters. That's it.
I trust the Beaver. It's tough. It's got a lot of power. You can have things go wrong, and it's just gonna keep going. It's just a badass.
For the team of Island Air, being Kodiak's lifeline is more than a business. It's a passion.
I think Kodiak pilots are some of the best in the world. We have to deal with a lot of weather. Your younger pilots, when they first get here, they're scared to death. They have a healthy awareness of what's going on. If I can't impart what I know to the pilots that work here, then I've failed.
During hunting season, Island Air transports hundreds of hunters around Kodiak. Today, they're flying a group to Eagle Harbor for their annual Sitka black-tailed deer hunt.
That's one of the beauties of living in Alaska is you have a lot of opportunities to do hunts like this. Pretty fortunate to be able to do this.
Eagle Harbor is 30 miles southwest of the basin in an isolated and remote part of the island. Teeming with dangerous brown bears, hunting here is only for the very experienced.
It's remote, and there's no road system to it. It's only accessible by boat or airplane. Beautiful place.
A fast-moving cold front from the Bering Sea has created colossal waves, making the harbor a perilous landing strip. A single wave can easily slam a plane into the rugged rocks. So for now, the hunters are in a holding pattern.
Island Air, this is Emily. Oh, dang. Eagle Harbor is a no-go. The swells are too big. There's no way we'll be able to get the float planes in there.
Those swells break onto the beach, and you have to be able to manipulate that airplane.
Handling these planes in Kodiak's wild weather takes hours of intense training. 18 months ago, pilot Peter Rosendahl began flying float planes at Island Air. His training with Bob has been a rigorous education in expert aviation.
You notice how it shifts? Add a little power. Cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it, it's there! Too late, too late. We're just gonna call it good for now.
Okay.
Absolutely essential knowledge to master the third most dangerous profession in the world.
To do this job, you need to be pretty confident in what you do. You definitely learn from your mistakes. Take every flight and apply it to the next flight.
Today is Peter's final exam. Bob will take him to Marca Lake, about 30 miles northwest of Island Air. The lake is tough to navigate due to its short landing sites and rocks hidden just under the water.
It's kind of like teaching your teenager to drive the first time. You can imagine giving them the car, and it's a nice Camaro with a 300-plus horsepower. Okay, we're going to enter the freeway for the first time, so I'm a nervous wreck.
Dear Lord, keep us safe. But it's a technical little place here.
Yeah.
I get it right here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So you can see the one rock on the corner.
Yeah, I think I see it just below the water over there.
Don't want to get too tight on that rock now. There you go. Okay, push it over, push it over, push it over. Power back. Okay, round it out. All the way. We're gonna have to probably do it on a turn. There you go. You got it? Yep. Okay. It's got to come back.
What is his training thing? Like, he's over there talking a whole lot and telling me how he wants it to be done and how it should be done. You got to take the loud talking or yelling, whatever you want to call it, you know, with a bit of salt.
He did good. He did real good. I mean, I was impressed.
Made it out, didn't bend any metal, so didn't seem to scare Bob too much.
So I'm proud of him.
So he did a really good job on it. I trust Pete. You know, I just kept my mind go back to last year when you saw him doing that training. That's why we train. It's pretty badass. Actually, top dog today. Just having fun.
Hey guys, what's happening?
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to Kodiak.
Thank you.
I got 2 sightseers going now. We're gonna show them the island, show them the sights.
Mike and his wife Stacy have recently moved to Kodiak from Phoenix.
Big difference from Phoenix to Alaska.
I think big is an understatement. It's a huge difference.
To get to know their new home, they're taking a sightseeing flight around the island with Peter.
So this is the de Havilland Beaver. Have y'all ever been in a Beaver before?
No.
Fantastic. Well, it's an awesome airplane.
How long have you been in a Beaver?
Well, I got here this morning about 8 o'clock, so, yeah. So here we go.
Being the first time on a float plane, a little nervous, but I know the views will be worth it.
Riding in a Kodiak bush plane isn't like flying on a commercial airliner. High winds, wind shears, and squalls can cause massive turbulence and appear out of nowhere.
Big Tower Beaver, I don't know if you're on the base in Yacht Romeo. I'm headed out towards Calson Bay.
Can we just take off really fast?
Yeah, it'll be pretty quick.
So there's no complimentary drinks?
Here we go.
Oh, God.
A lot different than
I don't know if I should look or close my eyes. Oh, that's so different.
We're cruising here at 600 feet right now just so we can see stuff a little bit better.
Wow, such a different view.
You fly around all day. Is this your happy place, or do you have a happier happy place?
No, this is my happy place.
Have you ever had to leave anybody?
Just the ornery passengers.
Oh,
All right, so we got some goats down there.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
wow.
Yeah, they're running on stuff full speed that you can hardly stand on.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Every day is a new adventure, that's for sure. All right, guys, it might be getting a little bit bumpy here.
Yeah, that wind coming up over that mountain is...
Oh, I don't like when you do that, Peter.
The storm that grounded the hunters has expanded quickly, throwing winter squalls right into Peter's flight path. Sudden squalls have kicked up, and the weather is deteriorating fast.
When you're flying around, you know, the whole time you're thinking about a million things a minute, but you always got to keep your composure, and you may look calm and collected on the outside, but on the inside you're going crazy thinking about what can go wrong, what you need to do to make it all right.
So we're also playing with the wind factor here.
Peter decides to cut the flight short and put down at the closest body of water to fish and wait out the weather.
Never landed in the water before.
Definitely a big difference.
Peter will stay grounded until the squalls pass.
What'd y'all think about that flight?
The views? Very nice. The turbulence? Not a big fan.
Yeah.
But on the ground, Mike and Stacy face other threats.
You got some activity going on out here somewhere.
Holy guacamole.
Kodiak brown bears can grow to be more than 10 feet tall and weigh over 1,500 pounds.
Are you trained in first aid survival?
Peter knows the bears shouldn't pose a problem this time of year. It's the end of salmon season, and bears are more interested in hibernation than people.
Okay, fishy, fishy. I need you in my life.
I'm gonna get that one right there. That one's mine.
Look, you see that big old fish? Grab it. Wow, did you see
That's
that?
the same one I'm going for. Go try over there. I always take my thunder when it comes to fish. I got it. Oh, I got something. Ooh. Oh my God.
What happened?
Look, I caught some grass.
Uh-oh, there's another one. Look, got him.
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh. If it wasn't for bush planes, I wouldn't be catching all these big old salmon out here. Come on. Hey, Stace.
Yeah.
Check this guy out.
Oh, that's pretty big. Nice catch, babe.
Thank you. Whoa. Sorry, buddy.
I got it, though.
All right, time to go. Thank you. Got a big salmon in Alaska.
Gentlemen, this is the best experience I've had in my life.
The squalls have passed and Peter is cleared to fly. The interrupted flight seeing tour has paid off in spades with Mike's salmon and Stacy's first ever float plane ride.
I would do it again. I would definitely do it again.
Pete has aced his first ride with passengers.
If you ask me what my job is, it's training. It's to watch who is out there. So when my customer asks me, who's flying? Who's the new guy? We have new guys every 18 months. It's an 18-month commitment. We don't rush it. It just, there's a lot to cover and a lot of confidence to build, never knowing what's around the next corner. You know, you got to go to your happy place. And if you can't do that, then this is not the place to fly.
Although it's not hitting the entire island, the storm has intensified on the southwest side.
We've got a pretty good storm moving in on us now, bringing us heavy rain and some big winds. And now 10-foot seas are forecasted to come in here.
Bad news for a group of hunters who are trying to get to Eagle Harbor 30 miles southwest of Island Air.
Pretty typical in Alaska, you know, you go on a remote hunt, you know, and it's weather's always a factor.
Hunters will get stuck here in Kodiak. The weather will be too bad here or where we're trying to get to.
Weather days are always a fun time at Island Air. Clients can get crabby.
Especially when a storm decides to stick around for days.
I have you scheduled to go out to Eagle Harbor with us today. Weather is not looking good for that area. The wind is blowing pretty hard, and so we won't be able to fly you out there. Good morning, Jay. More bad news. I just heard from Eagle Harbor, though, and they have big swells, and so we cannot get to the beach today. No, we're not up again today.
Oh, you're killing me here.
Everybody's kind of getting really antsy and tensions get high, but you know, we're just trying to provide a safe transportation service to and from their hunt.
Sometimes people want you to fly when you know darn well you shouldn't. It's not safe for you, it's not safe for them. The biggest challenge for bush pilots is learning when to say no.
Saying no today might be the difference between life and death. An intense cold front from the Bering Sea has Kodiak in a stranglehold. The storm has kept Island Air's planes grounded for the past 6 days. Frustrating for a group of hunters who are stuck in Kodiak until the storm passes.
We've been trying to get out to Eagle Harbor for 6 days.
It's coming in. Sometimes these storms don't stop for 20 days. Holy moly.
It's described as the worst weather in the world, and its unpredictability can wreak havoc on everyone.
This was about 20 years ago, and I tell you, it really messed with me. I was going along right where we're at now, and right about now, I should have been climbing. We have a wind that's a little different. It would have been coming from my right, but in that day, it was the left. And I started right down this pass, but I'll tell you, I was quite a bit lower. I was literally skipping along the surface, and I could not get the plane to come up.
To this day, I do not know why it didn't rise.
And I was right about here, literally at treetop level, staring at those trees right in front of me. I should have been able to just climb like a bat out of hell going out of there. Could not get the plane to climb. I said a prayer right then. That's one of the moments I said a prayer, and I told this aircraft to rise. And finally, right about now, it released me. I came right up over these trees, and it let me go.
Why did that downdraft finally release me? Honestly, in my heart, I believe that the good Lord was trying to teach me something, and it's one of the few times in my 40-year career that I asked for definite action and help, and I got it.
That was a moment that I'll never forget.
That was a period in my life where the fun went out of it. It was all work, all the time. And for the next year, I was hyper aware of everything I was doing in a plane, and the enjoyment level went out of it. It wasn't a fun period. Honestly, it took me a whole season. It took almost a year to get that feeling to go away. So I guess it's a trust in yourself. In your decision-making ability in that aircraft.
The storm that's been battering the island has dissipated. Great news for a group of hunters that have been trying to get to Eagle Harbor.
The weather broke for us this morning. We're actually seeing some sun out, so hopefully we'll be able to sneak these guys in.
The hunters are carrying more than 2,000 pounds of gear. Too much weight for one plane to handle, so Peter will fly a second beaver. The planes can now take off, but can they land safely?
All that energy built up by the storms, it's been building up this swell, and it just doesn't turn off overnight.
We've had easterlies now for over a week, upwards of, almost 40 knots. The swell was still quite pronounced. I mean, you head off this direction, next stop is Antarctica.
Many planes have perished by attempting to land in these rough seas.
Yeah, I don't think we can make it in that lagoon.
swell's not too bad in here. Actually, I expected a whole lot worse. But what's going to happen is when these guys go onto the beach right now, the plane's going to want to surge in and out.
With some of the biggest tidal swings in the world, Kodiak beaches can become a float plane graveyard.
If we get a really big wave, we get pushed up too high, and then we're kind of on dry land. That's not where a float plane wants to be.
Just think about it. If it was pointing towards the beach and started going dry, there's nothing we can do. We have to wait for it to float again.
Pull it around, and then get that tail rope. Get my bow pointed out. Point it out.
We're definitely getting beat up on the beach a bit. Trying to unload the airplane, and the airplane's rocking up and down.
Don't let him push on that elevator.
We just don't need to get it too high.
Lady Luck was on their side today. The swells didn't beach the planes, and the hunters are finally off to start their adventure.
I'm not going to say there's any glory in this. You learn your trade. It's hard. It's just tiring. I guess we ask, why do we keep doing this? I don't know if it's the adrenaline at times. It's just the seeing Mother Nature and her glory around here. I mean, just it's the animals. It's all the awesome people you meet in the villages, and I just think I'm supposed to be doing it.
Hey, listen, I just got a call. They're out of food.
A group of hunters in a remote area of Kodiak are in bad shape. A grizzly has torn their camp apart and destroyed their food supply. Hungry and desperate, and with life-threatening snow squalls on the horizon, they turn to Island Air for help.
I'll get the plane ready.
On this 3,500 square mile island, the weather changes drastically from 1 mile to the next. The weather might be calm and sunny at Island Air, and just over the mountain range, it's a blizzard. Veteran pilot Eric Howard sees situations in Kodiak that would rattle most pilots.
Flying in Kodiak is unlike flying anywhere else. You basically wake up every day not knowing what's going to happen out there.
Island Air's fleet of 6 planes are crewed by the most seasoned pilots on the island. They are essential to Kodiak's 14,000 residents. Today's flight takes Eric deep in Alaska's bush. The island feels prehistoric, with 1,800-pound Kodiak brown bears and a rainforest that grows ground moss 3 feet thick. In the bush, there are no towns, no emergency services, no dependable communication. If a pilot gets in trouble here, there's no coming home. Facing the challenge head-on, Eric charts his course to check on hunters whose status is still unknown. Suddenly, Eric hears something he doesn't like. Never a sound a pilot wants to hear 3,000 feet in the air.
Hi, how are you? I keep making it back. I've got to set her down somewhere.
Trouble is nothing new to bush pilots like Eric. He makes quick calculations and realizes he has only seconds to determine where he can put down. Eric is 5 miles away from the nearest body of water, Seal Bay. If he loses his only engine, the Beaver will drop like a rock.
I don't think I can make it to Seal Bay.
But one thing is certain, the hunters aren't coming home today.
Well, we got a group of hunters that are down in Dead Man's Bay.
Dead Man's Bay lies on the southwest side of the island, 75 miles from headquarters at Island Air. It's a hunter's paradise, with everything from mountain goats to the largest brown bears in Alaska.
They're going on 4 days overdue now. They haven't contacted us. They were supposed to have called me.
Island Air dispatcher Emily Pack is the communications lifeline between Island Air and hunters in the bush.
There's any number of things that could go wrong.
The hunters are running out of food, and a once-in-a-decade winter storm is putting their rescue in doubt. Veteran pilot Eric Howard's plane is experiencing an unknown mechanical failure.
I can't make her back. I've got to set her down.
Eric is desperately trying to find a place to land in Seal Bay before it's too late.
We're headed up to Seal Bay.
Bob immediately dispatches fellow pilot Keller Wadham and mechanic Richard Bellinger. The question on everyone's mind is whether this is a rescue mission or a recovery mission.
Richard, you just have to grab the carb?
It's already in there.
Okay.
Who knows? Could be a number of things. There's obviously a problem.
If Eric makes it to Seal Bay, the crisis is still far from over. Not knowing what's truly wrong with the Beaver, landing the 60-year-old plane could be disastrous. Eric makes it down safely, but Keller and Richard don't know exactly where he is.
No, not yet. Oh, wait, there he is.
We only got about an hour and a half with the way the sun is right now. So what was it doing?
About 20 minutes in, it started to do the bull backfire.
Pop.
Could be a magneto problem or a carb problem. So always better to be safe and just land and figure it out on the ground instead of trying to push your luck and get the plane back.
Richard is up against the rapidly dropping sunlight. He has to get it fixed in the next 30 minutes, or the entire crew will be spending the night in Seal Bay.
So yeah, I think we figured out the problem is in the carb. Cold temperatures and water tend to cause things to freeze up a little bit around here.
The crew now knows what the problem is, but will their quick field fix do the trick?
All right, you clear.
Keller and Richard follow Eric home. There's no guarantee that their repair will get him back safely.
Eric, how's you feeling? So far, so good.
Wilderness wear and tear takes its toll, even on a de Havilland Beaver. The planes need to have a full checkup every 100 flight hours.
So for sure then tomorrow night then we got...
Yeah, it'll be finished tomorrow night.
These are our lifelines, so we like to take care of them, look them over pretty good.
With one float plane in the hangar, the other beaver has to work twice as hard.
It's time to get started.
Weather's changing, we're gonna get moving.
The weather window isn't wide enough to rescue the stranded hunters in Dead Man's Bay. They're too far away. But life on Kodiak continues. They've got to get essential supplies out to the rest of the island. Food, mail, medicine, before the weather shuts them down.
We'll probably do 4 and 4 now, so we'll have all this and 4. Okay. Yeah.
This may look like miserable flying weather, but this is the best it's been in days.
We're way backed up. And when you're running a commuter, you definitely have to have the bodies and the boots on the ground. The Island Air, 7 Alpha.
7 Alpha Kilo, go ahead.
Yeah, were you trying to call me?
Yes, we still have the Alaskan mail sitting here.
Okay, coming back. Thanks. Another prime example, I'm focused on getting my trip done, and they don't have the mail on board, so we're going to turn right around and get it. So one thing that happens, you know, when you're hyper-focused on things as a pilot, particularly when the weather's marginal, it's easy to keep all your focus on your airplane, forget the littlest things. I mean, my brain's all on how to safely get the job done, instead of paying attention whether I got the mail on board. You know, it just tells me, slow down.
The predicted storm has hit Kodiak Island hard. Bad news for the hunters in Dead Man's Bay. Island Air has been trying to contact them for 5 days, but still, no word.
I don't know if they have enough food. There are bears out there, so they're staying in a tent. And with the kind of wind that is down there right now, I mean, I don't know that the tent is intact still.
You know, the longer it goes, the more urgent things become potentially when you don't know. Why don't you call Kostyang?
Okay.
Kostyang is, he's a lifelong resident of Akyok. He's been our weather source for all the years I've been here.
Hello.
Hey, Kostya, it's Bob at Island Air.
Oh, Bob.
Hey. What's the wind speed? I actually got a group on floats that I have to pick up.
It's at, say, 20, 25. Still coming out northeast.
All right. You can see the weather's just marginal and, yeah, bursting downdrafts. Now, we can see these on the water when we land, but for takeoff, that's the biggest problem, is are we gonna have a safe takeoff and departure path? So, from experience, I'm gonna wait.
But the hunters are braving severe wind gusts. And one more day could be catastrophic.
Man, that wind is howling. Hold that side of the tent, it's coming down.
This looks like dangerous flying weather. But to Island Air, it's a calm in the storm.
We are leaving as soon as we can.
And their only chance to save a group of hunters in Dead Man's Bay.
There comes the darn rain.
After 6 days with no communication from the hunting party, Bob fears for their safety.
Without communication, you just don't know what their status is.
They could be suffering from hunger, hypothermia, or worse, a bear attack.
We've
been getting nothing but bad weather reports the last couple of days. We had a little bit of break this morning, so we're gonna go down there and see if we can make this happen.
Forecast is just for about a 1-day lull, and that's gonna hit us again, so we can't miss this window. We have to get it done.
We don't really know what to expect when we get down there. We know the wind direction and what we think it's gonna be doing, but just the way it's tucked in there, you know, you get the bad weather and the bad winds, it'll get pretty exciting.
You know, after doing this 30 years, you just know how the guys feel, and they're wondering from their perspective, you know, have they forgotten us? You know, their minds are telling them, you know, why haven't they come? That's why I'm anxious to get going. Everybody wants us to help out on other stuff right now. We haven't got time. These guys are priority.
Adding to the pressure, 4 hunters with over 1,200 pounds of gear is gonna take 2 beavers. De Havilland first built the plane in 1947. Of the nearly 2,000 beavers built, hundreds are still in service around the world.
The beaver is a warhorse. It's tough. It's our go-to machine when the weather really starts to kick up.
It was built to land on water, snow, rough terrain, in the most unforgivable climates imaginable. But even with a beaver, stormy weather, plus the Kodiak wilderness, equals danger.
You can see the gusts on the water, and she's bursting. I'm sure 35 or better right there. It's got to be to throw me around like this. This has been the concern this whole week. I'm going to move to the far side, but where we're going, if it's like this, and you know, it's not impossible that we're going to get all the way down there, and we're not going to be able to get them. Yeah, this job's long from over. Long from over.
Island Air has 4 stranded hunters in Dead Man's Bay and haven't heard from them in nearly a week. Bob is in the air to attempt a rescue, but his lifeline, dispatcher Emily Pack, has lost contact with him.
Bob has been down trying to pick up those guys out of Dead Man's. He's been down there for about 45 minutes, so I'm kind of wondering if there's a problem.
There is a problem. Bob's trying to read the waves. He's concerned about the wind shear, a quick change in wind direction over a very short distance. As the airplane passes through the shear, lift and airspeed are lost, which could be the end of this rescue.
Oh, I got to circle around the land. You can see the shears right here, so we're going to have a pretty long taxi, I think. The other thing, too, is I don't see the guys. Oh, yeah, there's one.
Great to hear those beavers coming. I'll tell you what, Bob's our hero.
With their sat phone malfunctioning, the hunters couldn't make a distress call. Their only hope was Bob.
These are the days when people go, man, your job looks like fun, and, you know.
Happy to be alive and out of here at the same time.
The celebration has to be short. Time is of the essence because the tide is going out, and the hunters could weigh the plane down so much the rescue team could get stranded as well.
Now we've got tides going out, so when we load it, we have to make sure we don't get stuck or be on this beach another 12 hours.
Let's go, boys.
Got a really long taxi ahead of us, just so we can get in the right position to take off and do it safely.
I just got a call and they're telling me that the winds are 45, 50. Bob can get in there, but it's a question of getting out. which could mean that my planes are going to be stuck.
But Emily can't reach Bob, so he's unaware of the dangerous high winds that are threatening his takeoff.
So we got some gusts coming here. Oh, baby. Now accelerate like hell. This is where you don't slow down. We're low enough, I don't want to tip my wing. We're going to get over to that other side.
Nice job, Bob.
That was the part I was worried about the most on this entire trip, was right there.
We've been thinking for days about that takeoff too, I'll tell you.
It's kind of what I call a skid turn sometime. I don't like to bank. I just boot the rudder and slide her over.
Oh, we love you, Bob.
You look down here now, it's blowing harder than when we came down. It's picking up again. If I'd rounded this corner and seen this on the way down, I wouldn't have kept going, I don't think.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, so am I. Sleep better tonight.
One night we spent 16 hours standing up, holding the tent, grabbing the beams and sewing things with cords and following the... We knew if we got out of that tent, we were hypothermic and we weren't going to make it. We had to keep that frickin' fort alive. Thanks, Bob. That's good. You did it, man. Woohoo! Oh, yeah.
Bob and Pete have completed their mission. The hunters are finally safe and sound back at Island Air.
Alive, buddy! We got down to a couple days left of food, and no one wanted the apricots because I ate a bunch of apricots one day and that didn't turn out so good. And then we had the deer meat out there, but we had this real cantankerous bear that was like every time we'd get a deer down, he was running us off the deer, and we knew that deer meat was the last. That was it, man. That was going to keep us alive. So it was either that bear or us, and it was not going to be us. It was going to be the bear.
This will go in the story bunker for sure.
If you're looking for adventure, Dead Man's Bay. It's all out there.
I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I got this one done.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Having this smile on your face is just worth gold to us.
This is Jackie.
Now that's a familiar sounding voice. How you doing, sweetheart?
Oh, I've been so worried about you.
Just thinking about you and the kids kept me going. So, I love you, babe.
I love you.
Everything's just going, but it's a good feeling. I can relax now. I've got them out. Ready, set, go.
Get comfortable.
All right.
Hunting season is a busy time in Kodiak, Alaska.
James the guide.
We're busy. We're backed up.
In a 12-hour day, Island Air can make up to 22 round-trip flights.
Hi there. How are you doing?
At this time of year,
Do you guys need help?
much of their work is transporting hunters around Kodiak.
Come on down. Should be a good day for hunting. Your chariot awaits.
An early cold front is descending.
He's our guide.
And 3 hunters venture out to beat the weather. They plan to hunt Sitka, black-tailed deer near the Uganic Cannery, a half-hour plane ride northwest of the basin. But the frigid temperatures may alter their plans.
Oh, wow. Are we going to be able to land? I will let them know, and we will go from there. I just got a call from Uganic, and apparently there's ice in the bay.
The ice on the water by the cannery is thick, making a float plane landing impossible.
Hi, James. I just got a phone call from Pam Pingree. There is ice right out in front of the cannery, so we won't be able to land there. best we could do is take you to Quartz Creek.
If the float plane drops them at Quartz Creek, they have to hike 2 miles through thick brush and across rocky cliffs.
Okay, we can walk.
You can walk? Have you been out there and hiked that area?
No, this would be my first time.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
Yep. These guys are determined to go. For me, it's kind of a, should we send them?
Yeah. Come on, guys, split up.
There's that question in my mind if they're gonna make it.
Trekking 2 miles on this bear-infested island through unfamiliar territory is tough enough. On top of that, a monster cold front is heading right for Kodiak.
In Alaska here, you know, weather's a matter of life and death, and we've got a pretty good storm moving in on us now. We're getting ready to launch a weather balloon into it and see what the winds aloft look like and what the temperature profile is. Tower, National Weather Service, request permission to launch the weather balloon.
National Weather Service balloon launch approved. Wind 0501 Anarchus 26.
So this is our balloon inflation room. This is where we fill up our balloons. They're made of natural latex.
Craig fills the balloon with 1,500 grams of helium, which will keep it afloat for 90 minutes.
Up and away. Let's launch this balloon. Go!
A data recorder and GPS are tethered to the balloon.
There you have it. This is my favorite part of the job.
Balloons collect temperature, speed, and wind data. Critical information when making flying decisions around the island.
This is the track of the balloon, right there. The balloon is doing its job, and that makes my life easy.
Island air relies heavily on meteorologists. But even when clear skies and calm seas are predicted, they aren't guaranteed. Squalls barrel into Kodiak with little warning.
I was coming down a pass. I had some hunters on board, and it was all sunshine behind me. And I could see a squall up ahead of me going down through this pass. And the water, and all I had to do was land where I could see at the end of this bay. Drop my hunters off, turn around, and head right back to town. Started flying back up that pass. My brain kept telling me it's good ahead of me. Well, long story short, it never did get good. It got worse. And that squall came around, and I ended up on a beach. It built up to over 40 miles an hour, the wind speeds, and blowing snow. Thinking I'm going to lose my airplane, bobbing around in the beach environment. But that was a good lesson for me, is don't ever think it can't or won't. You fly every day knowing it will, and it is.
Despite Kodiak's temperamental weather, hunters flock to the island because of the abundant wildlife.
Just like incredible. It doesn't matter what the weather is. You cannot be disappointed.
Karen Seaman has been hunting in Alaska for 5 years. But this is her first trip to Kodiak.
Sitka blacktail are obviously only here in Alaska, so thought it'd be a great chance to be able to hunt something I've never hunted before. Taking pictures of the sea otters, they're like so cool.
Although she's excited about her adventure, she's nervous about the island's infamous brown bears.
All I ever hear is when you shoot blacktail on Kodiak, it's like a dinner bell for the grizzlies.
She has good reason to be nervous. A few days ago, 2 deer hunters were mauled by a Kodiak brown bear just a couple miles from where she's headed.
Kodiak brown bears here are known for being the largest bears in the world. Population-wise, they're at an all-time high right now.
Luke Randall is a hunting guide at the Afognak Wilderness Lodge. He's had his own close encounters with bears.
He happened to be on the beach. The bear was kind of confused, and then it started walking straight at us. Got to about 25 feet, it smelled us. It was locked in on us and started charging.
Hunting season brings a mass of sportsmen through Island Air. The wide variety of wildlife on the island is extraordinary. It's teeming with black-tailed deer, mountain goats, and Kodiak's infamous brown bears.
Yeah, blew hard yesterday.
Luke Randall is a seasoned hunting guide who's had his own up-close and personal experience.
And he got to about 25 feet, it smelled us. It was locked in on us and started charging. I shot it when I got to 12 feet, just to save everybody's life.
Oh, man.
Not a story that hunter Karen Seaman wants to replicate. So she's headed to Sportsman's Warehouse to get some advice from the experts.
Now, tell me about these Kodiak brown bears that I hear about so much. So what do you think I need?
I would definitely make sure you have some bear spray. All of the brands that we carry here at Sportsman's Warehouse are all great. My favorite, I like the Counter Assault here.
No, you haven't had to use it, right?
I have never had to use them. What's your ammo situation look like?
Pretty good. I'm using a 308.
308. So how many boxes do you think you're gonna need?
Boxes? Well, let's hope I only need one bullet.
You've got your ammo, you've got your gloves, you've got your bear spray, you got your snacks. Let's go get you a license.
Okay. Can't wait. Oh my gosh, it is pouring. Alrighty, Karen.
Hey, Peter.
Peter, your pilot?
I am the pilot.
Oh yeah?
Pilot Peter Rosendahl will be transporting Karen to the Afognak Wilderness Lodge a half-hour north of the basin. Before they take off, she has a few concerns about the weather.
So are we flying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
We just talked to them. They're calling a couple thousand feet with good enough visibility and 20-knot winds, so we're good to go.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Good thing I brought my waterproof mascara.
Seal Bay, Island Air. We'll be on the water shortly. We're ready for you.
It's a little bumpy.
It might be a little bumpy. Sure your seatbelt's tight.
I'm sure you've floated worse.
Oh, yeah. To some people, this wouldn't be good visibility, but this is pretty much a normal day up here.
Luke, hey, good talking to you. Yeah. Good to meet you.
Guiding Karen on her first Sitka blacktail hunt is Luke Randall.
Lovely weather we're having. Good for deer hunting.
Is this good for deer hunting?
Yeah, they can't hear it coming.
They can't, yeah. Okay.
I just had people leave this morning.
Oh, did they?
A couple hours ago.
Successful?
Actually. Yeah. Really good. Got a 10.5-foot bear and a real nice buck.
Oh, you got a bear? You went bear hunting as well?
Yep.
If you're out hunting for deer or elk, you still have to be bear aware. I look over my shoulder all the time when I'm out.
One more risk for the hunters hiking to Yaganik Cannery.
We don't even know what we're getting into until we get there, so.
They'll definitely have an adventure. Get pretty gnarly, I think. I definitely wouldn't do that hike.
During hunting season, the pilots of Island Air work 12-hour shifts. In the course of just a few months, they'll fly hundreds of sportsmen all over Kodiak.
Getting ready to start our deer hunt.
These hunters are tackling a risky hike.
The bay is iced in, so we have to get off here. And we're headed for that cannery down there.
For some, Hunting is a necessity in this remote part of the world. The meat they harvest today will sustain them for the entire winter.
Heavy. The whole terrain's all steep. Steep, steep, steep.
I'm ready.
Happy hunting, guys.
Emily has asked the hunters to check in with her daily. Should something go wrong, she will be their only lifeline to the outside world.
It is definitely cold outside. When you're getting ice in the ocean, you know it's freezing. I worry about their safety, what we're gonna find when we go out to pick them up.
It's really steep. A lot of rocks to climb over.
Still hours later, we're still not there. Ugh, treacherous.
It's tough.
Just trying to see all the answers here.
And there's a lot of alders.
I try to get going before the dark.
The 2-mile hike is taking longer than expected. The hunters were scheduled to call from the cannery. It's been more than 6 hours, and still no word.
I hope to hear from those guys soon.
On the other side of the island, Karen is ready to tackle her first Kodiak hunt. She's pretty confident she'll get a Sitka black-tailed deer. What she's not sure of are Kodiak's mammoth brown bears.
Since I probably smell like bacon, let's get rid of that scent.
Luke Randall, longtime Kodiak hunting guide, will share the experience with Karen.
All right.
Let's go find a buck.
All right. The forest here, it's hard to believe, but it's like, you know, think Hansel and Gretel walking through the woods. You are just stepping on moss, huge big pine trees, and it's just so quiet.
Be real quiet so we don't cause a ripple effect spooking them.
That you cannot even hear the deer, so you're just like walking very quietly. And then you realize, wow, the bear probably walked just as quiet. So the whole time I'm like, okay, looking around, making sure there's no bear around.
Because bears are like ghosts in the forest. They hear us and see us way before we see them.
So their natural inclination when they see us is to run.
Or hide.
Or hide, okay.
Yeah.
Luke uses a rattling tool to call the bucks. But no luck in this location.
I think a lot of the deer are going to be on the other side of the ridge because of that hard wind the last 2 days. So. It's a doe. If we spook this deer, it runs past the next one and dang, dang, dang. So we got to be like dead quiet.
Then we went another couple hundred yards and Luke spotted a buck.
There's a big buck right there. You can just see his face. He's looking at us, okay?
Luke's like, he's right there. And I'm like, where?
Right. Out there.
Okay.
Look with your eyes. Shake that trees in your way. Come on, let's go over here. See him? Yes. When he walks out right there, get ready. Load, load, load. Right there. See him? Straight down there. There, see him? Shoot.
Hunting season is a chaotic time at Island Air. The team of pilots hauls a multitude of sportsmen all over Kodiak.
Beautiful bear, isn't it?
So where'd you hit it?
It nicked the heart. Caught him right here.
I love to see a successful hunt.
Thanks, pal.
Island Air feels personally responsible for the hunting parties they transport.
We had 3 hunters go out the other day. We were supposed to drop them off at the Uganic Cannery, but we weren't able to get to the Uganic Cannery because of ice in the water. We dropped them off 2 miles before the cannery, so they had to hike in. It's not easy to get in there, and especially when you're trying to carry a load of gear in. I don't know how it went, and not hearing from them, it worries me a little bit. They may not have made it to their destination.
On the other side of the island, Karen Seaman and guide Luke Randall are hunting Sitka black-tailed deer.
Found him, got set up. Ready?
Shoot.
Took a shot. Straight over his back.
Oh, reload, reload. He's not moving.
Was I high?
Yeah, you hit high.
If you're gonna miss high. And he just kind of stood there and was like, what was that? So it gave me the opportunity to jack another shell in, realize I needed to go low, a little bit lower.
Oh, you smoked him.
All right. And was able to take him with that shot.
Okay, I'm gonna go check on him.
Luke's like, you got him.
Okay, come on.
Headed down the hill and came upon him basically right where I had shot him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you smoked him. Good shot. That's a gorgeous buck. Beautiful Sitka.
Wow, look at him.
Nice and wide. He's a really big body for here. He's pushing like 180 pounds.
Wow. Look at that. It was a nice 3x3, and Luke was excited. So, obviously I was excited that, I was able to take a great deer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then he's like, well, we'll gut it here. And I'm like, we're gonna gut it here?
She had been hearing all these stories going around Kodiak about bear mauling that had just taken place.
I'm like, okay, so like 3 days ago, there was a mauling on deer hunters. So now we just have to worry about bears.
And so she's pretty worried about that, rightfully so. All of Kodiak is known for the bear attacks.
Of course, the whole time I'm really nervous and I'm just pacing and he starts gutting it.
But Luke is not concerned.
Bears haven't been really introduced to that, where when they hear a gunshot, they think of a gut pile or a deer that they can have. They either don't know what the gunshot is or they are afraid because they know it means death.
With no bears in sight, Karen packs up her trophy and carries it out herself.
Wow, successful day, woo! This was my first trip to Kodiak, totally awesome, and it's amazing. These beavers and Island Air keep this island and everyone around it running. Bob, I'll see you in August when I'm back.
See you in August. We'll be here.
All right, see ya. Thank you.
Success all around. Emily finally has news from the hunters at Uganic Cannery.
They made it to the cannery. I'm really glad to hear about that. I didn't really expect to hear that that was going to be a success. They did go hunting and they got a deer, so we're going to go pick them up tomorrow.
It's keeping your ass alive. It's doing a safe job. It's taking care of those people in the airplane, getting the job done. You know, the attachment to the machine, their tools, they have no value. But the people and how you interact when you need each other, making a small air taxi in Alaska work. It's been a good life.
Bear with a bow. There you go. Pretty awesome.
Island Air flies thousands of people around the island of Kodiak every year.
You got hip boots, and you're definitely going to want those on.
I'll be back in 40 minutes.
Have a good flight. Thank you.
Who's the next victim?
The team works together like a well-oiled machine.
mail groceries.
Living the dream.
Hey, Emily, get on the radio.
We're windy here, and the pilot's thinking that we should reschedule for tomorrow.
I mean, if we do get those 100-mile-an-hour, not if, when we get them,
Right.
we're gonna wanna ratchet this thing to the dock.
I think that's what makes it work at our company. You know, we've got a mix of experience. It's a good balance. It works. It makes it fun too.
Check on the weather. I ain't going. I can't take it anymore.
It's all you, Bob.
We have the new guys that are coming in all the time. They've got lots of energy. They help get us old guys off the couch. You know, they are the future. They're the next wave. You know, they definitely have the youth and the stamina to grind it out, and it's long days. So how many are we gonna need?
Two pilots.
Every potential new pilot is intensely scrutinized.
We like to see somebody who's actively, you know, flight instructing. You learn a lot from flight instructing. Trying to teach something, it definitely is a little different than just doing it yourself. So we like to see a 4-year degree and desire to be in Alaska. Because it's kind of like Africa, you know, people who come here are people who want to fly in Alaska.
This grueling career choice isn't a good fit for everyone.
You know, we don't try to sugarcoat it. We tell them that, you know, you work hard, long days. When you get done at the end of the day, you pretty much eat, go to bed, and wake up the next day and do it all over again.
Because Bob invests an incredible amount of time training up a new pilot, he wants to make sure it's the right pilot.
So this is the main guy I've been talking to, one of the most interesting. Jeremy's his name. He's flight instructing, living in California. He's got a 4-year degree.
Now what about
his ATP?
The guy David was...
David's friend was living down in California also, but he hasn't flown for a year.
You know, he should go get a little flight time, just to get your hands back on the stick. And,
You know, he's got a wife and kids too, so, you know, a little tougher moving all the way to Kodiak. So I'd say we pursue this Jeremy guy mostly. You know, if Jeremy doesn't work out, then give Aaron a call and see what he's got going on.
Being a bush pilot in Alaska is considered the pinnacle of success for many aviators.
It's a good way of life up here. It's not easy. There's a certain mystique and challenge of this. You do a lot of living flying in the bush in Alaska.
One of Island Air's newer hires is pilot Ben Haug.
I was used to flying in Santa Barbara where it was sunny every day. Came up here to Kodiak, and it was about as opposite as you can get.
It's pretty hard when your plane's bouncing around and you've got 2-foot breakers on the beach. You know, you're gonna find a whole new, you know, set of issues you're gonna have to deal with that you didn't have to deal with on the wheel planes.
Ben has spent hours flying beside other Island Air pilots. Today, he's ready to get behind the stick with Peter.
Training with Peter is gonna be great. He's smooth, he's calm. He has a great way to teach you without getting you all worked up.
It all starts on the dock. You know, this is where you're gonna be the hero on the dock, looking like a badass.
I got this.
Ben's gonna do great in the floats. He's got a good head on his shoulders. We're gonna start pumping floats.
What, you mean we don't have dock boys?
We do a lot of our own work, Ben.
I think you stuck a hose in the hole just so you could watch me work out here.
Yeah. Look here. See the back of your float there?
Oh, yeah.
So it's all that kelp. So if I were you, I'd crawl over there and kick that off. It'll make your life a lot easier.
Gotcha. You planted that for me, didn't you?
Well, you know, we got to throw something in here.
That'll work.
Being able to teach this to Ben, you know, it's a lot of fun. We're good buddies, and I can razz him a little bit more than a normal student. So jump in that front door there, Ben. Give her a whirl. Today's nice and easy for him. You know, his first day. Bob kind of threw me under the bus the first time I got to do this.
It's kind of like that teenager that just learned to drift mom's car. So we go out and we put the shock collar on you now and then and light you up. You know, do they always listen? Nope. So we light them up again.
It might take a while, but once you cut you loose, you got to know that he knows you're ready for it. The thing about the basin is this is an uncontrolled spot. There's nobody directing traffic here, so we're always looking both ways as we cross the the street basically when we're pulling out into the water. So you got to keep your head on a swivel.
Turn it right in.
Swinging it around. We'll see if he, it's a good first day in the Beaver. You know, didn't say anything I needed to really whoop you about. You know, it's the first day, so I can't be too hard on you, but.
Yeah, it's fun. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, cool.
New challenge.
Yeah, new challenge.
Flying a Beaver in Kodiak is about as good as it gets. This is definitely my dream job.
By next season, Ben will be ready to fly float passengers all around Kodiak. Right now, the responsibility is on the other pilots. A heavy burden, but one they consider an honor.
To come to Alaska to do a trip like this, people save for years. And so it's exciting that we get to take them out.
Today, one of Island Air's many trips is dropping hunters off at an unusual lodge. A 46-foot boat they'll call base camp for the next week.
It's a trip we've been looking forward to for 3 years. We planned this 3 years ago.
The trip of a lifetime for this close-knit group. But the experience is bittersweet.
Last year, November 6th, I lost a really dear friend of mine, hunting buddy, in a plane crash. And so he's going with us on this trip in spirit.
The boys are headed to Salua Bay, about 77 miles southwest of Island Air.
We are trying to get things moved quickly today so that we can hopefully get everything done before the weather starts coming in. You guys heard about the storm that's in the Aleutian chain at this point?
Really big.
Yes,
Yeah.
big storm.
Big storm. Big seas out there.
Pretty possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big seas mean big winds. The flight will not be an easy one. It's been a busy day at Island Air.
Time to rock and roll.
Good job, Bob. Thanks. You betcha.
They haven't quite decided where they're going yet, Hidden Lake or Molina.
We have a few trips going. One of them is we're going to a boat. We're going to be taking 6 guys out. They're going to go hunting from a boat and travel around the south end of the island.
The group is headed to Salua Bay, about 77 miles southwest of Island Air.
You guys heard about the storm that's in the Aleutian chain at this point?
Really big. Big
Pretty
seas.
gnarly.
We're gonna big wind, big seas out there.
Pretty possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all our first time on a float plane.
First, none of you have been on a float plane
No.
before. You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah.
It's my favorite way to fly.
Flying people that have never been flying in a float plane before is always pretty exciting because they either really, really like it or really, really hate it.
Let's get you guys loaded up and get you on down to the boat.
We're ready. Let's go.
Have it! The group of 6 will split up into 2 float planes. Peter will take half, and pilot Keller Wadham the other half.
We've been having a lot of easterly wind. It's just been really nasty.
Oh man, this is nuts. Come on in. Get comfortable. Okay, suck it in.
Kodiak Tower, Beaver 9-1 Kilo on the base in southbound, got November, and 671. Beaver 9-1 Kilo, Kodiak Tower, transition approved.
I can't believe that we're flying out on a float plane to a boat. This is crazy plane.
Woohoo! Taking off in a small airplane. Oh, wow. Man, that's awesome.
Hey, Devin, watch out. Your door does come open.
Oh. I got him. No, I was okay. I was hanging on to Steven. Yeah. That thing? Oh, it's awesome. You see those goats? We rocked them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Yep, those are buffalo. Hey, Peter, you're our new binoculars.
All right.
That was awesome, yeah. My neck is going to be sore from just being on a swivel. I don't know where to look.
Unfortunately, their sunny outlook might soon turn dark. The predicted storm is now a reality.
The boat drop-off, we are headed down here to Salua Bay. And the storm that's coming in is coming in from down here. So, I mean, it's not far off from us, and it's hard to know when it's going to hit.
With this pressure system coming through, there's really no telling what we're going to get in between here and there.
Hey, how was it going through Eagle Harbor there?
Oh, that's good. I went through at about 1800.
I gotcha. So we might get a few bumps in here.
Sure you guys have your seatbelts nice and tight.
Oh, yeah.
One of the biggest challenges Kodiak pilots face is fast-changing weather conditions.
Dude, you guys, it's frickin' out, man. We tried going through Eagle Harbor there, and it's completely closed in. He went through at 1,800 feet, so it was wide open. We just tried going down, it was closed all the way to the ground. So it changes pretty fast. And just heavy rain everywhere today. Look how high the tide is, man. Up top. Yeah. Oh, wow. You can see the waves on the beach. They don't look like much from up here, but it's a pretty big swell for a plane.
There's a little bit of rain. Yeah, a little rain shower.
Is it supposed to blow 40 still?
That's what they were calling with that load. Yeah, this is way more than I expected. Oh, I know.
Hey, Keller, yep.
Hey, Devin, I think we can... Hey, guys, be quiet.
Peter can't reach Keller by radio. Keller's plane is banking hard to the right, and Peter doesn't know why.
Oh my God!
While Peter and Keller are dropping off a large group of hunters,
Looks like a little rain ahead, huh?
a storm has made landfall on Kodiak, dramatically reducing visibility.
We tried going through Eagle Harbor there, and it's completely closed in.
Hey, Keller, yep.
Hey, Devin, I think we can... Hey, guys, be quiet. Huh? Hey, Keller, you got me?
Peter has lost radio contact with Keller, and his plane is banking hard. Without communication, Peter doesn't know if this is Keller's flight plan or if his fellow pilot is in trouble.
Oh my God! Hey, Keller, you got me? Yeah, they're playing. Oh my God. Roger. Oh, there they are! Woo-hoo! Yeah! Yeah!
Keller banked hard because he spotted the boat below and didn't want to overshoot it.
Tell me to go back the other one, Peter. Roger.
As soon as the wind comes the other way, it'll lie down waves like fast.
Coming down. There's the boat. All right. Woo-hoo! We're here. That's actually a fairly good-sized boat. Oh my! All these years and we finally here. Not ready to touch down. This is a giant toy, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was awesome. Well played. Well played.
We can swim that far, probably.
Nice. I thought the hunt was going to be the big deal, but the plane ride was fantastic. It felt like we could reach out and touch the mountains as we were flying by them. It was incredible.
Happy hunting, guys.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete, for the great flight. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks again, Peter.
Cheers, guys.
Excellent. Yeah. Great ride.
Get something on the ground that we can take some more pictures.
All right, oh yeah, guaranteed.
Right on.
Technology has made bush pilots infinitely safer.
We have GPSs now, we know where we're at. Imagine if you didn't have this. We're flying through this valley, if all of a sudden it closed up on us, the only chance you'd have back then would be to hold your heading and just hope that you made it out without hitting anything.
Many of Kodiak's older pilots could have benefited from this new technology. Dave Oberg, Bob's friend and fellow pilot, has been flying around Alaska for nearly 40 years.
I was hired to work for Island Air Service down in Kodiak. Bob had gotten there a couple months before I did, so we were both a couple of young pilots, trying to break into the Alaska flying world.
Not an easy training ground for a new pilot.
Kodiak is a tough place to fly because of challenging terrain. and even more so is the challenging weather conditions. Within a period of 15 minutes, you can go from sunshine to nearly 0 in fog.
A quickly changing weather pattern was to blame for one of the worst days in Dave's life.
July 13th, 1989, I was going on down to a fish camp near Mosier Bay to pick up some folks and bring them back into Kodiak. And on the way back, as I was going along Cheratine Mountain, as soon as I got to the top of the pass, I was in the clouds. Now I don't know how low I'm getting. To me, the thing that's most frightening is when I can't see where I'm going. But within a minute or two, I saw a patch of grass off to my left. And I realized then that I was closer to the mountain than I thought I was. I was scared to death. So I just cut the power, started pumping flaps. I'm gonna cut my losses here and make sure that touchdown under control. You know, this should be survivable. And so that's what I did. I set it down on the side of the mountain. And we slid along for just 40 or 50 feet. And then the plane slid sideways down the mountain. And then we hit a gully. Both the front seats ripped out of the floor. Of course, I was knocked unconscious. When I came to, about that time, the male passenger said, "Dave, it's on fire."
Kodiak, Alaska, braves some of the world's worst weather.
Yeah, when the weather comes in here, it's real fast. And it's over a very, very short distance. Mother Nature's a force to be reckoned with.
Pilot Dave Oberg has first-hand knowledge of Kodiak's deadly storms. In 1989, he was piloting a bush plane that crashed into the side of a mountain.
I reached down between my legs, grabbed the fire extinguisher, handed it to him, and he put the fire out. So I had 3 adults and 1 2-year-old little guy in the back seats who received just bumps and bruises. I broke both ankles, had my head split open. I knew that 10 minutes getting help might be the difference in surviving or not surviving. They managed to lift us off the mountain that evening. I had a few days to lay there in the hospital thinking about what had happened and time to analyze it, and I understood where what mistakes I'd made. When the accident happened, I had about 7,000 hours of flying on Kodiak. I was pretty experienced. When you start getting too comfortable with where you are in aviation, then you start getting these little voice in your head saying, think about what you're doing. What could go wrong here? And so it's made me a more careful pilot. I don't fly in weather now that I flew in Kodiak. I won't do it.
Now, there's been accidents obviously all over Alaska. I am a firm believer in disseminating that knowledge, and I don't hold back my mistakes. I still, to this day, I'll call guys in, we'll talk about it. Hey, this is what I did today, and this is why it wasn't a good thing to do.
Bob Stanford's mission in life is to teach new pilots how to navigate Kodiak's challenges.
Young pilots not having a lot of experience flying the Alaskan bush, every area has its own unique attributes. And there's one pass, Acker Pass, that I flew down one day, and I had sunshine behind me, just like you see here, beautiful. And I flew down the pass, just like we're going through right here, down to the water. Unloaded, the hunters came right back, and the squall was coming straight at me. And if you don't have your heading or a moving map GPS like we have here, you can just end up running right into the side of the hill.
Technology has made flying this terrifying landscape slightly less dangerous.
What's improved in my tenure, 40 years of doing this, is now we have a moving map GPS. And so now the pilots, he can sit and instantly see where they're going. Whoever invented the GPS system, in my book, he gets the Nobel Prize. He has saved a lot of lives.
Even with modern advances, Bob believes nothing beats good old-fashioned training.
We have to make sure we're the standard, you know, and that's important. I mean, I can't tell you countless guys that have said, I thought I knew how to fly, you know, and then you start throwing in really short strips where you have to hit the first 10% of the runway, high gusty wind shear situations. I mean, it's amazing, actually. Honestly, I think all the pilots that have come through here, when I'm trying to teach them, they're teaching me at the same time.
Are we gonna get on the plane? Yeah.
Are you guys ready to load up?
Whenever you are, yeah.
Right.
Island Air is more than just an air taxi service for Kodiak. They are essential to the well-being of the entire island.
Island Air, they're definitely a lifeline because we have no service that goes around the island and delivers goods. This is how people get their mail, their food, so they are an integral part of our economic engine here.
That's all I got for you.
Everything you move in a car down south, in your truck, and your delivery vehicle, it all moves in an airplane or a boat in Alaska.
I've been on a few different search and rescue type flights. I've picked up people that have had heart attacks, burn victims, and a pretty wide variety of medical emergencies.
It's the interaction between everyone out in the bush and helping them and helping them help us. It goes both ways.
Here, Pete. Thanks for the mail you wanted to grab. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, this is awesome. Benefits of being the mailman out in Kodiak.
The pilots serve a wide range of clients, including the watchmen at Alaska's closed-down canneries.
I'm a presence on site. I just keep an eye on things. I enjoy all the fishing and hunting, and it's just been a hoot since I've worked here. Throw them in it.
For some caretakers, Island Air is one of their only links to the outside world.
Hey, Pete. Island Air brings the mail here. They bring my groceries on the mail plane. They're kind of a lifeline. So, how's weather in town?
It's starting to look kind of nasty out to the northeast. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I'm the only guy they see every week for months at a time. So you kind of got to give them 5 minutes, let them talk to somebody face to face.
All right. Oh, handbag. Yeah, mail bag. All right, thanks, Pete. Hey, I found some graffiti on the wall you might be interested in seeing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
You really kind of get to develop a relationship with these guys, and if they don't walk down to the dock or walk down to the beach when you pull up, that could be scary. I haven't had that happen yet, but you're always hoping that they're going to be there waiting for you when you pull up.
All right, Lance, we'll see you next week.
See you next week, brother.
Watch that tail back there, Lance. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. The bush pilots are my heroes.
Sometimes Kodiak's violent weather prevents the planes from landing, halting delivery of vital goods and medicine.
This weather may dictate what we're doing or where we're getting into.
The ceiling and visibility down there is great. It's just the wind.
When large ocean swells are the only issue, the planes have another way to distribute supplies.
The Beaver itself has got a camera hatch that's up underneath the belly, so it's possible to lift up the door in flight, fly over a spot and throw all the equipment out that you can.
Today, Eric will be teaching Pete how to use the camera hatch for target practice. It's another page in the training manual for Alaska's ultimate bush pilots.
We got the orange tape. We'll kind of set up some targets with the orange tape, and then got a couple cups of flour in each one of these. That way, even from the airplane, when it hits, we'll see it spread out, and that'll give us a pretty good idea of how close or how far we are from our target. Cool. So.
Considered the best bush plane ever made, the Beaver was designed for this type of use.
It's just a cool made airplane. They're really thinking when they put this thing together.
Eric and Peter will travel to Three Saints Bay, 20 miles southwest of the basin. With its long stretch of beach, it's the perfect location for the training.
Obviously, you're going to want me dropping it before we actually reach our target because it is going to have that forward velocity, you know.
All right, I got the hatch set up, Pete. So let's set up our target.
You guys gonna take a look on the first one, or? Yeah. We're also playing with the wind factor here.
The high winds will make it that much more difficult for Peter to hit the target.
You know, give me a heads up, all right, we're over the beach, and then like a 3, 2, 1 drop or something like that.
Peter's first pass will be low, just a few feet above the beach.
All right, so we're lined up with our target. See, that X pretty good. All right, 3, 2, 1, drop.
Pilot Peter Rosendahl is learning how to deliver supplies out of the Beaver's drop door.
See, that X pretty good.
Even with guidance from veteran pilot Eric Howard, Peter's first drop was off the mark.
I think that one's going to be a little long. All right, so at 300 feet, drop. I'm ready, so you just tell me. It's a little slower here. Drop. That one was just a little short.
With a few drops under his belt, Peter will now climb an altitude to 500 feet above the beach. Increasing wind speeds will make it extremely difficult to be on target.
All right, so we're lined up. 3, 2, 1, drop. How about them apples? Oh, we better do it again, see if you're actually good or if you're just lucky. Yeah, once is a fluke, twice is the real deal.
Peter will now jump to 700 feet in altitude at full airspeed.
I kind of want to try to do a slam dunk. Drop. Pretty good.
He proves he is the real deal by dropping just 2 feet away from the target.
No, I don't want to say I'm good at this, but I'm doing really low. This wind's really picking up. All right, this is the hardest part, turn around back in here. Yeah, just keep it wide, getting a little gusty in there, so I think our X is about to get blown away.
With wind speeds increasing, Eric and Peter need to head back to the basin, but not before they have a little fun with the rest of the bags of flour.
Also, show you how many we can drop out in one go? Yeah. Start dropping, 3, 2, 1, start dropping. All right, worn out. Good job, Pete. Well, you got it down pretty good.
It takes hours of intense training to get to Eric and Peter's level of skill. Some would shy away from that much work. Others embrace it.
Yeah, if I could fly all day, that'd be amazing.
David is a new pilot to Island Air. Originally from California, the call of the last frontier was too strong, and he moved to Alaska a few months back.
So it's gonna be 1 out and a box.
Coming out to Alaska was an easy decision. The flying is comparable to nowhere else, I think.
Bob only hires experienced pilots who have finished traditional flight school.
We have the new guys that are coming in all the time. They've got lots of energy. They help get us old guys off the couch. But I've found that as I look over all the accidents that have happened, you know, a lot of times it's in those pilots that are at the top of their game. And that's when it's good to put a little experience in, going, no, it can happen to you.
I'm looking just for whether you know the basics.
So today, Dave and Bob are heading to Calson Bay to see if Dave's got what it takes to make the Island Air team.
We're gonna climb up and do a 60-degree bank turn, stabilize it, and then I'm gonna have you go to a 60-degree bank turn in the other direction.
Got it. He knows what faults to look for in a pilot, and he knows how to fix them.
He's only had one person fail the intro ride, and that person actually ended up dying in an aircraft accident a year after he failed that intro ride for the very thing I failed him for.
If you want to survive, if you want to keep your passengers alive, if we want to live, we're not going to be cowboys out there. We're going to keep things safe, so.
How many G's do we have in a 60-degree bank turn?
A 60-degree turn, it's 2 G's.
Okay, I want you to maintain the altitude you're at. We have 2,600. Go ahead and roll into a 60-degree bank, left turn, stabilize it. All right, right turn, 60-degree bank turn, full aileron.
Being able to feel the tight turn and fly by the seat of your pants
Okay, left turn.
is something you learn through training
I'm not pressed back into my seat.
and more training.
I'll tell you right now, you're not going to make it. You're right. How are you going to make it? You're too high.
Bob is on a routine test flight with Island Air's newest pilot, Dave.
Do a couple clearing turns.
And he's taking every opportunity to put this rookie through his paces.
Okay, left turn. You got to make a quick turn. You're looking down here. Yep. So you don't really see it. You got to pull it back to feel it. Right. It makes a big difference when you get in a pass and you're looking outside. Now, what I want you to do is keep the wings level. Keep the wings level.
He likes to see it when we start shaking in our seat, literally. He likes to kind of push us to our limit, see if we're going to crack, and that's part of his determining if we're going to be a good pilot for his crew.
We've got the municipal airport right under it. If we had to pull the power from right here, would you make it? Yes. You just lost your engine. Roger. I can tell you right now, you're not going to make it. You're right. How are you going to make it? Tell me right now, you're a line pilot. Lengthen it out. Lengthen it out. Lengthen it out. Get to 80. You're too high.
A 60-degree bank causes the plane to lose altitude. So the pilot must consistently calculate, feel, and compensate. Bob's training puts pilots in situations to test emergency procedures of all kinds. A stall, the airplane losing lift, is a situation that every pilot will face eventually.
Pull our power.
It's better to practice now and feel it, so when it happens, you instinctively know how to react.
No power, we're just flying. We're starting to feel the stall right now. Yep. Buffet, we're coming into it. A lot of times there's a horn. Nose kind of falls off. Full stall. Very good. Okay, your airplane. My airplane.
I feel in tune with the aircraft, but I'm human. I'll get scared.
Most emergencies, people will inevitably freeze for the first couple seconds.
That's right. Got to have our procedures down, so I just do it automatically.
It's easy to get comfortable, isn't it? Sure. That's what it gets us. Well, good thing to do is constant training.
That keeps us sharp.
Yeah, it does.
I can already tell I was rusty on that simple engine failure procedure.
Yeah. Okay, head back. All right.
You can either fly or you can't when they come to me. I go out and figure that out really quickly. What I want to know is what they think. Then we walk you through the scenarios to teach you how to apply them for our environment.
He knows of all the dangers, all the accidents that have occurred up here. He knows how to avoid all those things. So he gets a brand new pilot like myself, and he's gonna jam this new information into my head.
Took a check ride once, and the FAA inspector, he's standing underneath the flaps.
I started to drop the flaps. Whoop, bam. Bonked him on the head. I looked at him and go, well, have I failed it yet? Do we need to keep...
I don't think there's anybody quite like him out here.
You passed it. You gotta keep working.
All righty, thanks for the tough love, Bob.
Part of flying is your preparation. Looking ahead, what's gonna happen next? Or what can get me in the scenarios we fly at, that things start happening pretty quick.
Let's go on down and we'll see how you do.
Rigorous training in this environment is critical.
Add a little power. Cut it, cut it, cut it.
Even experienced pilots will run into the unexpected in Kodiak.
Then it started to do the bull backfire.
Pop. Bob knows firsthand that complications on this island hit without warning.
It was late winter. I had loaded up 2 passengers. We back taxied out of Paul's Lake in the ocean. And the way the wind was, I had to take off towards the shore, if you can just imagine, inside of a horseshoe. And we back taxied what I considered was plenty of room. I was going to do a single float turn, get airborne, just continue my turn right around. And I simply started to run out of room. But I was at a point, if I tried to pull my power, I knew I was going to wreck the airplane. I instantly went to, I have to use every single inch of this space that I have. I ended up, it was within 10 feet of a rock wall. If you screw up the landing, you're going to wreck the airplane. If you screw up the takeoff, you're going to get killed.
Most Alaskan bush pilots have experienced their fair share of trouble in the air.
If you screw up the landing, you're going to wreck the airplane. If you screw up the takeoff, you're going to get killed.
And Bob is no exception.
And we back taxied what I considered was plenty of room. I was going to do a single float turn, get airborne, just continue my turn right around. And I simply started to run out of room. I ended up, was within 10 feet of a rock wall, turning in an accelerated stall. I could feel it starting to go, and I had to just keep it on the ragged edge. And I ended up touching the water, stalling, and staying perpendicular to the rock wall at the same time. And we bounced through the little reef area in the water, and I was able to just keep the plane moving and flying, and flew back. I tore up one float pretty good. And I think that's one of the moments I asked my maker. We had a little conversation, but I was very upset at myself, and I told him I came very close to putting him into an accident. So I've learned that healthy awareness in my flying is not to relax and keep asking yourself what could go wrong in the next situation.
Bob has had a number of close calls over the years. But what is the veteran pilot most afraid of?
What frightens me? If my wife's not happy. That frightens me.
First job in aviation, and it will be my last job in aviation.
Bob's wife, Jen, has helped him make sense of the dangerous profession he's chosen.
She walked into our office over at Municipal Airport. So I looked at her and immediately smitten. I said, "Hey, Joel, I'll give you a quarter for your sister." As I remember, he said 50 cents, and I reached in and I paid him right then. And we were married 6 months later.
I think my wife's pretty good looking.
Yeah, you weren't here the day the guy gave me a $100 tip.
When she's getting a little too much attention from the guys, you know. I just come back and, I just give her a little squeeze. I just mark my territory.
If you've seen the movie The Kronks, they're having earthquakes and the rocks are falling and the dad just reaches out and puts his arms and his body over everybody to protect them. And that is Bob. I remember I started crying in the movie because that was you. And Lydia and I looked at each other and I was like, that's Dad. She goes, yeah, that's Dad. He's very, very protective of his family. It's his world.
Bob shows that same fierce loyalty to the people that work for him.
My family up here is definitely the Stanford family, and everything good that happens for Island Air, I am really happy about.
When you hit the water, I'll come in.
Everybody works together like a family. Even our customers are treated like family.
So this is showing 4.2 on Alpha Kilo.
After flying for Bob for a number of years, he's pretty much become like family. He may not be a friend, but he's definitely family.
Good job! You win the lotto. I don't get great jobs unless it is a great job.
Oh, man.
A lot of living going on around this company. I get a lot of calls from pilots that want to come up. My job is to find that commitment and then you can join our family.
Off the coast of Alaska is one of the planet's most volatile landscapes. Kodiak, Alaska. The 3,500 square mile island is a vast wilderness.
It's different than the lower 48. We're flying areas that most people would look at and go, you're going where? You know, you're landing where?
Bob Stanford and his team of pilots at Island Air face danger daily.
Right straight to the west of us is a monster storm.
I'm gonna wait for tide change, and I'm just gonna get the plane ready to go.
A mix of wild weather and extreme isolation make bush planes the best way to access Kodiak Island.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get my plane ready and get this first one done.
The pilots take hunters and thrill seekers up daily, but they are also a lifeline to people living on the island full-time.
We're going just to Uganic?
For residents like Lance Parker, Island Air is their sole connection to civilization.
Island Air is my hero.
As a trapper, Lance's season is short, and any mishap has grave consequences.
I was just running my line. It's the last run of the season. I broke my propeller on a rock that I didn't see. I just limped in on the broken one, but it's a miserable go.
Replacement parts can be hard to come by in this remote part of the world.
Trying to stay ahead of the parts game is it's a challenge. You have to kind of build a confidence or knowledge of what are readily available and what aren't.
Luck is on Lance's side today. They found another boat prop right in Kodiak.
Island Air, 1 Alpha Kilo.
Pilot Eric Howard picked up the part for Lance and will fly to Port Bailey, 26 miles northwest of Island Air, to deliver it.
Around Kodiak here, everyone helps each other. Everyone's willing to drop what they're doing and help because everyone's been in that situation before themselves.
Alaska may be the biggest state in the Union, but it's also the smallest state in the Union. And we are dependent on each other.
And we made it.
A present-day necessity delivered.
Thanks, Eric. We'll see you later.
Eric's next mission focuses on the past.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Eric.
Morning.
Looks like we got some awesome weather to go take a look around.
Patrick and Natalie are from the Alutiiq Museum on Kodiak and are heading out to discover some of the island's archaeological treasures.
Pretty much every survey we ever do on Kodiak, we use a float plane. You can't get there without a plane.
They're looking for native Alutiiq villages that date back over 500 years.
This is the Alutiiq history book, these sites.
Eric is dropping the archaeologists off in the Shelikof Strait. a location that troubles the veteran pilot.
When you're out on the Shelikof Strait, you have really big tides, and you almost always have winds and currents.
When the threesome left Island Air, the skies looked clear. But on Kodiak, the weather changes drastically from one area to another.
Oh, this is looking a little worse out here now. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at the waves, they're too big. Yeah, pretty much anytime you see white on the beach, it's pretty hard to get the float plane to it. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get on that beach today. Kills me we didn't get there. That was where I really wanted to go.
High waves are posing problems for the archaeologists, but for another client at Island Air, the waves are a welcome sight.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys today? Good. How are you? Excellent. Ready to go surfing?
Yes.
Jen and Steve moved to Kodiak 5 years ago. Avid surfers, they didn't let the cold climate keep them from their favorite pastime.
Today we're here at Island Air to try and get on a float plane and see if we can get to some new surf spots and some spots that haven't really been surfed by anyone before. Same storms that bring big waves to Hawaii in the winter, they originate up here off the coast of Alaska, so we'll get waves from those storms as well.
The only thing is it's a lot colder here than Hawaii or even California.
You have to wear a thick wetsuit, whether it's July or January, it's about the same.
Get about 2 hours out there before my feet start getting completely numb. Ready to go.
Peter will take the couple to Surfers Beach, about 25 miles south of Island Air. The area is renowned for its colossal waves.
Excited about this. It's the first time that we're flying on a float plane. We don't know what we're gonna get in terms of waves and where they're going to leave us. So yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, there's some little line. Kind of a bumpy ride right now.
After a little bit of a rain shower.
Kodiak's severe storms create massive waves. Perfect for surfing, but they spell trouble for a float plane.
Gonna be pretty rough in here.
Definitely a pretty big swell, huh?
Yeah.
Kodiak Island's notoriously high seas are legendary. Most people try to avoid the ocean when the waves are rough. Today, Peter is taking a couple of surfers out to ride those waves.
Kind of a bumpy ride right now.
After a little bit of a rain shower.
Massive waves are exactly what surfers crave, but they're disastrous for a float plane. Landing on swells this size is tricky.
Gonna be pretty rough in here.
Kind of nervous.
Just pounding all these rocks out here.
The storm approaching, the swell is so big right now, we don't even know if a plane will be able to land in the spots we want to surf.
We might be able to get on the water here with the plane. Yeah, just kind of in this back corner, we're protected from that swell.
Beautiful.
Here you go, guys. We'll get your boards out and kick you out.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Cool. And they're off. Yeah, we do a little bit differently here in Kodiak. We don't tow you in surfing. We'll drop you in a float plane, though, so hope these guys have a good time.
Saw some sea lions out there while we were surfing. Sometimes they start at you.
We've even had whales come up to us before while we're surfing in Kodiak, so it's a really cool experience.
Did you have fun?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
40 miles northwest of Surfers Beach, trapper Lance Parker isn't having fun. The boat prop Island Air delivered this morning doesn't fit his engine. Emily immediately tries to locate the correct part, but it's no easy task on Kodiak.
It's Emily at Island Air. Oh, he's in Port Bailey. Oh, yikes.
But with no luck. They locate the right part in Anchorage, but a storm there has grounded planes until tomorrow. For tonight, Lance is stranded on a cold beach.
I worried about it all night.
Weather is also posing a problem for Eric and the archaeologists he's transporting.
Oh, this is looking a little worse out here now. Yeah.
Eric is trying to land in the Shelikof Strait, but high winds have kicked up and the seas are too rough.
Pretty much anytime you see white on the beach, it's pretty hard to get the float plane to it. Oh yeah, look at the waves, they're too big. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get on that.
There is another village site that hasn't been explored in Afognak Bay. The shoreline is more protected there, so Eric might be able to land.
Oh, look at this beach over here. That's one big village down there. Yeah, I think we can make it in there. All right, here we go, guys.
Kodiak has an incredible number of sites. I mean, there's already 1,200 recorded ones, and I found 100 this year. So, and we're gonna probably find a few more today. And it looks like it's getting a little rough.
A little bit of wind out there, but we'll be back to get you.
Okay.
See you guys.
Yeah, thanks. Aha, look. A house pit. You know, you have your thatched roof, fish hanging from the ceiling. There's probably some benches.
This is huge.
Yeah, this is a pretty big one. This is probably a winter village.
While Patrick and Natalie have been exploring, the wind speeds and swells have increased dramatically. A float plane pickup is now impossible.
Yeah, it's not looking too good right now.
All right, thanks. Bye. I just got a call from Eric. Today we won't be able to go pick up Patrick or Natalie, so I had to call Keller Waterman, and he has a plane that can actually land on beaches.
They're gonna be a little surprised to see me.
Keller is a freelance pilot who helps out Island Air in these kinds of situations.
I love flying wheels. Landing on beaches or remote, riverbanks and tops of mountains, and it's completely different.
Keller must make it to Afognak quickly. The weather has turned, and high tide is approaching. If the beach floods, he won't be able to land, and the archaeologists will be stranded overnight with no shelter on an island full of 1,500-pound brown bears.
There's still 5-6 foot pin-foot swells out there.
Weather plays the lead role in Alaska's aviation world. It demands respect. If ignored, it can cost a pilot his life.
I came to Alaska with a man named Jamie Madsen. He was my best friend. He had done a flight down the Alaska Peninsula, and he was refueled and he was heading into Kodiak, and it was clear and calm here. But over the range earlier that day, there had been 50-knot easterly winds blowing. And he left King Salmon, and obviously he ran into icing. His very last words were, "Mayday, mayday, mayday, Twin Cessna 1 Echo Charlie, losing control, ice." I've been flying almost 40 years, and I've never used the word mayday. When you say that word, something very serious is happening.
Being a bush pilot in Alaska is a gutsy decision. Over the last 10 years, 54 fatal plane crashes have occurred. Bob Stanford has lost close friends over the years he's been flying. One particular crash still haunts him.
He left King Salmon, and obviously he ran into icing. His very last words were, "Mayday, mayday, mayday, Twin Cessna 1 Echo Charlie, losing control, ice." I've been flying almost 40 years, and I've never used the word Mayday. When you say that word, something very serious is happening. And we looked for him for 5 days. It snowed 5 days, for 5 straight days in the Katmai Range after he went down. We never have found him. I've been going over there for 4 decades, and every trip I think about him. I still look for him. When you lose somebody close to you, you realize it can happen to you. It's even after all these years, it still affects me.
Alaska's plane crash fatalities are 20 times higher than the national rate. Reading the weather signals is crucial to survival in this dangerous business.
How high the tide is, man.
Pilot Keller Wadham is trying to interpret the tide. He's picking up archaeologists in a fognack, but if the tide has flooded the beach, a landing will be impossible.
With a dropping tide, you can't put the plane on the beach. So you gotta kind of like look at it from up here and decide. That's the beach right there, though. Definitely get in there. It's a workable lagoon. We'll see what happens.
Patrick, how's it going?
Good.
Natalie, good to see you. I'm picking you guys up today because Island Air couldn't get back with the Beaver. We're gonna go on wheels instead.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever done that. Sounds cool.
It will be fun, so let's get you guys loaded up and we'll be out of here.
Okay.
All right.
Kodiak's tidal range is nearly 10 feet, and high tide is hitting. Keller must get the plane airborne before the beach is completely submerged.
Tide's coming up, so we have to go. It opens back up in this like beautiful flat valley up here.
Yeah, this is awesome. Glad we got to get home a little early too.
With the archaeologists safely heading home, Island Air can now turn its attention to a new member of the family. A 7-month-old Labrador Retriever puppy named Piper.
Emily got a puppy that was actually raised out in the bush. Of course, she named it after an airplane, and Piper's part of the family now.
An adorable family member, but one who has broken the law.
Piper has a criminal record.
Piper has violated Kodiak's rarely enforced leash law.
I've watched dogs run around down in the basin for my entire life here, and Piper's the first dog I've ever seen get a ticket from, from the dog police.
When she's on leash with me, she hates it. She hates it a lot, and I don't know that I like it very much either. Come on, Piper.
Piper's exuberance is exhausting her owner. So the Island Air family has brainstormed a way to give Piper her freedom and Emily a break. Peter and Emily will take Piper to Uganic Bay, 35 miles west of Island Air.
Come on, Piper.
Hey there. Oh, there you go. Thank you.
All right, you guys ready to go?
We are. Get Piper.
One up, goes on order.
You want to go outside?
Piper, you're fogging up my windows.
You're getting excited about that, huh? Are you having fun, Piper? Piper's running free, and she's so happy. It makes me happy to see her this way.
Overnight, the massive storm that grounded Anchorage's planes yesterday is now heading straight for Kodiak.
Right straight to the west of us is a monster storm. You know, I called the weather service. They're talking about 75 knot winds, 90 miles an hour. You know, we would definitely be battening down the hatches.
40 miles per hour is a no-go for our airplanes.
More bad news for trapper Lance Parker, who's been waiting for a replacement propeller for his boat.
There aren't any planes making it into Kodiak.
With flying on the island at a standstill, Lance will be forced to spend another night in the elements. After weathering a huge storm overnight,
Island Air Basin, 7 Alpha Kilo.
Kodiak is flying again.
Port Bailey, Island Air, be land shortly.
Eric can now make the flight to Port Bailey and deliver Lance's boat prop.
Doesn't look too windy, looks pretty nice down there, so we're not gonna have any issue getting in there, and should make Lance pretty happy so he can get back on his blade. And I think we brought out a little bit of tobacco too, so that'll make me happier.
I didn't think they were going to make it, but son of a gun, they did make it. Eric showed up just like perfect, like Island Air always does. That looks like the baby.
Well, I gotta get back. We'll see you next time. Good luck.
You bet, man.
All right.
Thanks. Took the prop out of the box and seen that it fit and bolted it on. Now I'm ready to go home. I've got some traps to check on the way home that I'm gonna pull out of the ground, and then that'll be the end of my season.
To Bob Stanford, running Island Air isn't about money. It's about caring for the people of Kodiak.
It's a rush. That's why I do it. It's awesome. It's, you know, even at my age, at 59, it's just like being 21 without all the energy. So yeah, this is why I've done this for 39 years. I love the challenge and passing that knowledge on, watching these guys. I'm proud of them. I can trust them too. When I put my head down at night, I know they've got the best drivers of these airplanes when people fly in our air service. That's why our pilots are so sought after. People try to hire them all the time from here. Yeah, these guys are awesome. They got it.
Ready? During the wintertime on Kodiak Island, the days become shorter and the weather colder.
And you already warmed it up, right?
Island Air's schedule calms down and the team settles in to a daily routine.
You want me to go or you go ahead? All right.
Nice to meet you, Dustin.
As the holiday season approaches, their focus turns to delivering mail, groceries, and presents.
Hi, Emily. Good morning.
Hi, Christian.
Today, they're bringing a very special Christmas present to a family in remote Kodiak.
Can I hold the puppy? Ruger.
Yep.
Hi, Ruger. Piper is jealous. If you can go get him in his kennel and get him ready for the flight, that would be great.
Sure.
Peter will take Ruger on his first flight. They're heading about a half-hour northwest to a lodge on Uganic Bay.
We fly a lot of unusual animals, goats, bears have been flown around here, chickens. I'm not a fan of flying chickens, snakes.
I flew a wounded bald eagle in a dog crate once. We're shipping anything that we can fit in the airplane and keep within weight.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can I chew on it?
Holidays, you know, we like to stop and give a few presents, and, you know, we're kind of the Santa sleigh.
I've seen entire planes loaded with Christmas presents, and then it's pretty fun.
It's fun to go to each village and have 20 cars pull up to your plane, spend 10 minutes handing out boxes to everybody. Feels good.
Island Air spreads a little extra holiday cheer to its frequent flyers.
These gifts are for Larry Carroll. He is down at Kodiak Adventures Lodge. Peter's gonna deliver them.
Peter will take the gifts to Kaluta Bay, about 43 miles southwest of the basin.
Island Air, 1 kilos off for Kaluta Bay.
Roger, Peter, we'll see you later.
We run a lodge business, and we rely very heavily on bush pilots because there's no other way in or out.
Hey guys, how you been?
Pretty good, Peter.
Pretty good. Here, we got some stuff from Island Air for you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks.
We got something for you. That's your usual treat you get when you come in.
I always love coming here.
One for Emily.
I can't promise I don't make it all the way back to town.
And those are for you for Christmas.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey.
Both longtime Kodiak residents. Bob and Larry have worked together for years.
We have a great relationship with Bob and his whole family. That's why we work with Island Air. I trust that.
A few years ago, that trust was put to the test.
We were trying to make it out for a funeral, and we were looking at the weather. It was a little dicey, but Bob said, yeah, if we can get you out here in the next 2-3 hours, it's still pretty good. They're calling for winds to pick up later in the afternoon. Bob came in, decided to come in on a Beaver because he thought it was a little risky to take the 206. He got here, the winds had picked up. It was one of those situations where it was getting worse rapidly. So we loaded the plane, we got in, we got out around the bay, and we hit 60, 65 mile an hour headwinds. And we hit those winds head on, and the plane almost seemed like it just stopped in midair. 1 minute you're okay, and the next minute the plane is free falling. It just dropped.
When bad weather hits Kodiak Island, it hits with a vengeance.
We've had record amounts of rain. There's so many changing conditions. It's thunderstorms, icing. It's really more up to you as the pilot. You have to develop your options and your outs.
Larry Carroll has a deep respect for the island's bush pilots.
To be a pilot on Kodiak takes some nerves of steel sometimes. I've been in some nasty weather where it closed in on us and you're halfway through the flight and you can see the pilot scrambling.
A couple of years ago, he had a terrifying experience with Kodiak's harrowing weather.
We were trying to make it out for a funeral. The winds had picked up and it was raining, and Bob decided to come in on a Beaver. We got out around the bay and we hit 60, 65 mile an hour headwinds. It just dropped. That plane fell 400 or 500 feet. You see that ground coming up really fast, and Bob is doing everything he can to get control of the plane. You're at God's mercy at that point. And it was just like a roller coaster. Your stomach goes back down. The nose comes up on that plane and we start climbing again. He pulled it back up, got us back up where we were supposed to be. And Bob had this look on his face like he had just cheated death. We hit that dock. Bob tied that plane up permanently for the night, looked at us and said, man, if we'd have been in a 206, he said, we'd have been in the drink. We wouldn't have survived that. That was just like an epiphany, like, thank God I got a great pilot and a great plane.
First flown in 1947, the Beaver's rugged versatility made it popular with militaries around the globe.
If you're looking for a workhorse, if you're looking for something that runs day in, day out. The beaver. Most of these beavers are, 1952, 1954. When was the last time you saw a 54 Chevy on the road?
The plane's production ceased in 1967. Today, a refurbished beaver is worth well over $500,000.
The beaver, it's just built tough. It's simple, very strong, and that's why we still use them today.
But like any machine, the plane requires regular maintenance.
So every 100 hours, when you're working an airplane for hire, you got to pull it out to do a 100-hour inspection. We're about to pull 479 kilo out of the water. Bob's going to back a trailer in, and we're going to pull it up onto a trailer out of the water, just like you pull a boat out of the water.
Usually, pulling the beaver out of the water is routine.
Island Air Maintenance, commercial ramp, Crash Boat Harbor.
But with a severe storm fast approaching the island, this may prove to be a daunting task.
It just gets more difficult to pull it when the weather comes up.
This wind's really big.
What's interesting, the wind's coming around that point. It should be pointing out, but it's actually spinning him around.
When sitting untethered on the water, float planes are at their most vulnerable to high winds. The extraction will not be easy.
I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna get wet. You're gonna want to keep spinning.
Yeah, but if we can get me just out to where I'm not floating, it's gonna be fine.
I think if you untie it right now, it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
And then I might back in further and then out. Just start it.
Starting the beaver's engine might give the plane enough momentum to get out. Bob's pickup doesn't have enough traction to pull the plane. If the beaver drags him into the water, the truck will be trashed.
$400,000 airplane, $15,000 truck. There was no doubt in my mind I'm backing that truck in as far as I have to.
Go, go, go!
Bob and Peter are attempting to get the beaver out of the water for an inspection. But strong winds from a storm front are making the task difficult. Bob's truck is struggling to pull the 3,000-pound plane.
You can't just stop. Tides are moving, wind's gonna get worse.
Peter decides to kill the plane's engine and try a more hands-on approach.
Start it up, Pete.
Go, go, go!
There's your drama for the day. The winds were the worst they could be. They were exactly opposite of what we needed.
Mission accomplished, but not without a battle scar.
He saved me.
Yeah.
Of course, he's bleeding all over everywhere, but
That's twice your
marking
Bob.
a good chief pilot. Were you bleeding?
Oh, just on my finger.
Hey, take one for the
Yeah.
team.
Part of the job.
Now, they must get the plane with a 50-foot wingspan into the hangar.
Anytime you're moving an aircraft, you want people on the wings to make sure the wings don't hit, the tail doesn't hit. Straight back, just like you're coming. Gotta start turning. Turn over. You're gonna. Whoa! How's the wing for? I need to check that wing. Okay, it won't hit, right? You just stay on that wing. You're in.
With the Beaver finally in the hangar, Director of Maintenance Adam Lutz now takes over with the critical job of inspecting the plane.
We look at the engine, the airframe, propeller. We go through it from tip to tip. During 100-hour inspections, we've found some pretty bad stuff from time to time. You know, it doesn't happen all that often, but number one priority is keeping the planes safe and keeping them flying.
The slow season is also a time for pilots to do a little mental maintenance.
We're gonna go up to Seal Bay up on the Fognac and go hunting, hopefully shoot up some ducks. Done a lot of deer hunting and a lot of other hunting, but we're kind of new at the duck hunting, so this will be an experience for us. I'm definitely gonna shoot more.
Eric's gonna miss them all.
Peter and Eric will travel to Phoenix Bay, 43 miles north of the basin.
All right, let's go hunt.
Hey, Luke.
Yeah, good to see you.
Been a while.
Hunting guide Luke Randall from the Afognak Wilderness Lodge will accompany Peter and Eric on their duck hunt.
Running a wilderness lodge out here, we're very dependent on island air. And so having good pilots like Eric and Peter and Bob is huge for us because the reliability and the safety, we know our hunters are in good hands.
Hopefully we'll go get a bunch of quackers for you today.
Yeah, go whack some ducks.
Yeah.
I think they'll do pretty good. I know they got the hand-eye coordination down, being pilots.
Plane should be good to leave it right here, Luke.
No problem.
Sounds good. I'll drive.
All right, perfect.
So is December usually the best time for duck hunting up here?
Yeah, if it gets cold in early November, then it's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here you go. So I'll drop you off right on the point.
Okay.
As soon as you fire your first round, it's gonna spook a lot of them that are up in the bay, and then they'll start flying.
This is gonna be insane.
Yeah, so this is the hot spot. We'll give it a shot.
All right, the ducks are gonna be coming straight at us.
All right, we're ready.
Here they come. Give it to them.
Dude, your shells freaking hit me in the face. Man, we suck at this.
Yeah.
While Eric and Peter warm up their trigger fingers, Bob is heading out on his own adventure.
Frank Bishop is a master guide in this area. Today we're gonna go out and find a buffalo.
My family and another family own about somewhere around 500 head of buffalo. They're open range animals, they're not fenced. Let's go now.
We're ready.
Frank's bison hunting grounds are in Pasag 24 miles south of Island Air.
Well, what a day, huh? Surprised there's no bear on that whale right now.
Something's been eating on it.
Yeah, there's bears all over Kodiak, and they can be very dangerous. But with a little bit of common sense, you can make things a whole lot easier. Hey, look at this. What's going on here? We better be a little bit careful, because there has been a bear here.
This is their environment. And they live from one end of this island to the other. They're right in town here. So I carry my gun if I'm out.
It's common sense to be bear aware anywhere on the island, especially when bringing down a bison.
Go up on the hill here, just past those trees up there, there's an opening, and there's usually a pretty good herd in there. All right, let's sneak right up here.
Bison were first brought to the island in the 1990s, after ranchers got tired of losing dozens of cattle every year to the island's enormous brown bears. Bison are better able to hold their own in this wild country.
There's a good bull right there, though. All right, okay.
So which?
He's right there in the middle, Bob. Just wait till he gets in the open. Okay, all right.
Okay, he stopped right
Okay,
there.
right.
Some Kodiak residents mourn the loss of summer. For Island Air, winter is a welcome respite. Their schedule slows down, and they have time to enjoy all that Kodiak has to offer.
Well, what a day, huh?
Today, Bob is hunting bison with guide and longtime friend Frank Bishop.
He's right there in the middle, Bob. Just wait till he gets in the open. Okay, all right.
Okay, he stopped right
Okay,
there.
right. All right, good shot, good shot.
Down. You know, I still get excited. Adrenaline was flowing pretty good. One shot, boom, down.
All right, that's, you just put 450 pounds of meat in your freezer. Now the work starts, buddy.
You know, I spend so much of my time flying other hunters and fishermen, and so a day like today where I can get out and honestly just enjoy the quiet, the outdoors. Oh yeah, it's soul filling. It's this is why I'm here. That will fill the freezer.
You're right.
Let's go get the equipment. Let's get it dressed out.
All right.
Hopefully, Peter and Eric are having the same luck with their hunt.
You guys still did good, all in all. I mean, you should see some of my professional duck hunters.
Good job.
Yeah.
I do enjoy getting out and going hunting. You know, just see some new land where you're not going to see anybody else. Just this constant adventure is.
The winter months mean rest and relaxation for the entire Island Air team.
January, February, March, it slows way down. You know, the whole heartbeat of the island's very slow.
Everyone knows how they want to spend their upcoming downtime.
I get longer naps in the afternoon. That's what I get.
Some focus on work.
We had a real busy summer, and now we're working on getting some more planes online, and we're already looking forward to next summer.
Some on improving their skills.
It'll probably take about 2 months to train up in the float plane, so I'll be up to speed by spring.
Some on their social life.
We'll have bonfires at the beach, or go and visit the local brewery. We have good times.
Some on trips.
Now's the time of year where people are going to start taking vacations and going and warming up and thawing out. And it's amazing how just a day or two off the rock will make you want to be right back here.
Some on adventures.
So I've got a big trip planned in March. I'm going to try to fly the Iditarod with a couple of friends and go hang out and see what that's like.
And some just want to relax.
After our summer schedule, we all need some kind of a rest. I just tell people that it's our time to hibernate.
As Kodiak settles in for the long winter, Bob Stanford will stay busy, flying necessities around the island.
Now, Kilo is about a mile short of left Cape.
Slowing down is not in his nature.
I don't think my bucket will ever be full. There's always something new. But as I get older, my list of items, they change. If you can survive this long enough, you get a little different perspectives. It's a lot wider angle lens, so.
Only plane in the world you can hang your elbow out the window.
When I get to the old folks' home, there'll be plenty of stories. That's what this job has given me. That's been the beauty of it. It's every day is different. Still is.